one more of life's experiences.
Something for your memoirs.
That's what everybody tells me. You're going to enjoy it. So, I actually look forward to it. It's going to be interesting.
Yep. It's fun.
You address police chief as Kevin or just chief?
Kevin.
That's okay. Okay.
The door open? This one? Which door? All three are still froze solid with the second icing last night. How about June 1?
It's 7 o'clock. This is the Breezy Point City Council, January 3rd, 2017. This is a regular city council meeting. First order of business is the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. And the second order of business is the swearing in of council members and the mayor. Joe.
Raise your right hand and repeat, I state your name.
I, Tom Willahite,
Gary Mitchell.
I, Rebecca Llewellyn,
Do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States,
that I will support the Constitution of the United States,
the state of Minnesota,
state of Minnesota,
and faithfully discharge the duties of mayor or council members
and faithfully discharge the duties of mayor
City Council,
in the city of Breezy Point,
in the city of Breezy Point,
county of Crow Wing,
county of Crow Wing,
state of Minnesota,
state of Minnesota,
to the best of my ability and judgment, so help me God.
to the best of my ability and judgment, so help me God.
All right.
We're now council. Okay. Our next order of business is the consent calendar. You have before you the council minutes from December 5th, 2016, and we have the claims totaling $47,616.44, which includes electronic checks 1702E through 1704E, 1718E through 1720E, and paper checks 133183, and 133185 through 133244. Is there anything that anybody would like to have pulled off and discussed separately? Councilman Maroney?
No.
Councilman Mitchell?
No.
Councilman Ball?
no.
Councilman Mitchell?
Thank you very much. No, sir.
I'll entertain a motion to accept the consent calendar. Is there a second?
I'll second.
All those in favor of the consent calendar, say by aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Consent calendar is approved. Our next business is the open forum. Anybody having business before and wish to bring anything before the city council, they may do so at this time. Anybody wishing to go for open forum? The open forum is closed. Next order of business is the mayor and city council reports, and this is where the councilmen can bring up anything that they have on their mind and anything that their duties would present. For example, as liaison, you would be presenting things that you would need to report from your meeting with your individual liaison areas. Starting out with the mayor's report, I do have the pleasure of. We have a fly.
The fly, I just noticed it.
Where did he come from in Five Below outside? I do have the pleasure of receiving a donation from the Fletcher Foundation for a amount of $10,000 for the cemetery commission. So at this point, I would entertain a motion to accept the donation from the Fletcher Foundation for $10,000.
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
I also have the pleasure of receiving a donation from Grassmasters, who maintain the lawn at the cemetery, and it is it's an equivalent for his services of $1,073.63. I will entertain a motion to accept the donation from Grassmasters.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor of accepting the donation?
Aye.
Our next order of business is you have before you Resolution 1701, which is the appointments for the year. Each year, the council makes their annual designations and appointments. It should be noted that Deborah Simmons has moved out of town and vacated her seat. Diane Williams will be taking her unexpired term, and this leaves 2 openings on the Park Committee. With the new members to the City Council, we have Rebecca Ball as Administrative Liaison. Gary Bakken is taking over the Cemetery Commission and the Park and Rec Commission. Michael Maroney is going to be the Police Liaison and Planning Commission Liaison. And for the Finance Committee, it'll be Gary Bakken and myself. For the Finance Committee, Personnel Committee will be Michael Maroney and Rebecca Ball. Roads Committee will be Gary Mitchell and Michael Maroney. Consideration for Resolution 1701 would be appreciated.
I would approve the movement in Resolution 1701.
Is there a second to that?
Second then?
Discussion. Councilman Maroney?
No discussion.
Councilman Mitchell?
None.
Councilman Ball?
No.
Councilman Bakken?
No, sir.
All those in favor of Resolution 1701?
Aye.
Aye.
1701 is approved. You all have your assignments. Next, council members. Councilman Bakken, anything to report?
Not on my past assignment, Mr. Mayor. If I may make a brief comment on the 2 donations.
Absolutely.
Just for the record and for the press here this evening, these 2 entities, Grassmasters and the Fletcher Foundation, have been longtime supporters of cemetery, and it's with great appreciation that I personally commend these 2 entities for their substantial support of our cemetery going forward. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Councilman Ball, do you wish to say anything?
Nothing to report.
Okay,
Thank
fine.
you.
Councilman Mitchell?
No report.
Councilman Maroney?
Nothing at this time.
Okay. Next item in business is the engineer's report for plans and specification for the paving of the White Birch 6th edition. We've been working on these for paving gravel roadways for quite some time now, and the area of focus for 2017 are the roadways in White Birch 6th edition, which include the roadways of Zuni Circle, Aztec Circle, Pawnee Circle, Pima Circle, and Navajo Trail. We have gone through several steps of the process on this, and the engineers have finished up the plans and specifications, and we need to approve these plans and specification prior to sending them out for bid. Proposed that the bids would be sent out this week, and the bids would be received by January 31st. Justin, I'll let you fill in the council on the details of the project.
Sure. It's similar to what we've, accomplished in the last couple of years with road projects. We've got an existing gravel road that's in good condition, and trying to turn it into a paved road, and in doing so, trying to address any existing drainage concerns. So, the last few years, like I said, we paved a few roads that way, and things have worked out well. I guess another approach. And that's been a concern over the years, both for safety and for maintenance of work staff. So the plan there is to reduce the road grade, centerline road grade to an 8% maximum. And then we considered either a small ditch off the side of the road or a flat space, but we also, again, like learning from past projects, with that steep of a grade, we're gonna aim to alleviate losing the shoulder in a heavy rainstorm by placing concrete curbs along that steep portion of Pawnee Circle. So we're looking at, two 10-foot paved lanes across the entire project with just a little ditch enhancement where needed, but in this area we're going to add some concrete curb gutter. Really, support the long-term risk of erosion along the side of the road, which is kind of an ongoing problem with all the undulating roads in town. And that's what we're going to accomplish with this one.
Okay. Any questions for the city engineer? Councilman Buckner?
No, sir.
Councilman Ball?
No.
Councilman Mitchell?
I have two. What's Minnesota statute, chapter 429, exactly what does that entail or cover?
Sure, if you want to, I can do it too.
Well, it's a process that allows the city to assess for public improvements, infrastructure improvements, and in doing so, there's a number of steps that are needed to take, the city needs to take, like, to have someone qualified, an engineer or someone qualified to do a study on the proposed improvements, and then have an initial public hearing to get to, field questions from those benefiting property owners or affected property owners, those that are proposed to be assessed, and then so on and so forth. There's required advertisement periods in local newspapers, and then another final assessment hearing once you find out what the final costs are going to be, and then the affected lot owners are given the opportunity to appeal.
Okay.
And all of that. So
If I can just add to it, Jerry, in your
I
packet,
see that.
there's a
Yeah.
schedule of events that need to occur, and some of these are just publication deadlines and what have you, but it does outline this process that we have to take.
Okay, I was looking at that and I probably didn't look at the head of it and it probably said.
It doesn't say
Doesn't,
420. Yeah.
doesn't.
But that's what it is.
Okay, understood. Then secondly, because frost is such a problem in Minnesota, on page 3, and I'm asking this because I'm supposed to be liaison with the roads committee. You've got, on the upper drawing on the left, you've got class 4 and 5 aggregate base. Class 5 would be the gravel. But on the right, it shows nothing under there. Does that mean that it's just going to be on bare soil without any good base, or how does that?
well, with this project, like we have the last couple that we've done in town, the annual, road improvement projects, where we have an existing gravel road and we base, we add a little additional base material, at class 5 base material, laid that to our, desired 2% crown, and then roll it and pave on top of that. So what this typical road section is going to demonstrate is the existing road cross-section. If you were to look down the road, it doesn't have an existing perfect 2% crown. So it might be lower on one side, and then we'll have to add more base over here and less over here. And then we end up with a consistent 2% crown when we pave on top of that. So we'd like to say that we're going to add 2 inches of base across the whole project and then pave it. But it ends up being 4 inches here, 2
Sure.
inches here, 6 inches there. So that's kind of what that shows. This is actually a cut section through an actual project. And this ended up being the, sufficing as the typical section.
Okay.
Councilman Brony.
No questions.
We have Resolution 1702, which will approve these plans and specifications and direct the engineer to be sending out the plans for bid. I'll entertain a motion for Resolution 1702.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
Further discussion? Councilman Brony?
Just for further clarification for both Ms. Ball and Mr. Mitchell, is that going forward with this doesn't ensure that we're doing the project. It just means that we're going to be advertising for bids. We always have the right to pull from the project if the bids come back too high or there's not a favor for the project. So this is just the next step in the whole phase. As if you look through the timelines, there's always time to pull out from the project. So this is not committing ourselves, it's just committing ourselves to getting a bid for the project.
Councilman Mitchell? Any further?
No.
Okay. Councilman Ball?
Nothing to add.
Councilman Buckett?
No, sir.
All those in favor of Resolution 1702?
Aye.
Aye.
Plans and specifications are approved. Next item is getting ready for seal coating next year. We have the seal coating plans laid out. The previously established schedule for seal coating the roadways within the town. Originally, we had been looking at a longer schedule and keeping costs to about $35,000 a year. And after consideration of the age and coordination of the roadway pavement, it was felt that the schedule needed to be accelerated as some roadways would get to the point of not benefiting from a seal coat. And we do coordinate with Crow Wing County on the seal coat bidding, and so we would like to get our information and bid documents outlining what areas we need to accomplish as soon as possible. As such, we need to determine which will be accomplished in that part of the bid. You have a map and listing of the roads that we would be intending to seal coat this year. And I would be looking for a motion to approve the seal coating plans for 2017.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
Any further discussion? Councilman Maroney?
Just to clarify on Joe's memo here in regards to budget, we did add some roads into this, as you can see in the outlined of orange on the following map in the spreadsheet. As we talked about it, it just seemed like a better plan to try to do the roads all in their one area. There's I shouldn't say concern on the budget and the finances. We have the finances available. What we can always do, and this is what I recommended to Joe, is to bring it to the council for approving to get bids. But if, again, bids come back at an unfavorable price, this is not locking us into these specific roads. We can renegotiate at that point of what we're going to do.
Councilman Mitchell?
Sunny Drive, Flower Trail, are those gravel, or have those been done more current, or what's the reason they are not?
They're paved.
Well, paved like in concrete?
No, they're paved like in asphalt. And so
Well,
the
you seal
coating-
coat asphalt, do you not?
Yes.
Well, these aren't, they are not gonna be seal coated according to this. Or is everything within the perimeter of the yellow?
No, Sunny and Flower are not paved currently. Those are gravel.
Okay, that explains it.
That's in the White Birch 16 between
Oh, I
Green
see
Sea and
what you're-
Sulphur.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah, no, okay.
Okay.
Councilman Ball? Any questions?
Just with the Snowman Circle, that was completed in 2016. Do you know if that just wasn't seal coated in 2016 or if they're?
It was better. It was constructed. Typically, seal coating is not part of your construction
Okay.
process. It's more of a life extension process for asphalt.
That's what I assumed. I just wanted to make sure. Thanks.
Councilman Buckner?
None.
Okay. All those in favor of approving the seal coating plans for next year?
Aye.
Aye.
Seal coating plans are approved. Next year? Say what?
You said next year.
For this year? That's right. It's 2017.
Very good. Very good.
Let the minutes be shown, it's for 2017.
Thank you very much. We have a request from the Chief of Police for updating the archery and shooting ordinances. We've previously allowed archery hunting as a way of safely keeping in check the deer population. And we have some confusion or problems with the trespassing laws where the state's laws are poorly written, making it the onus of the property owners to post their land to prevent trespassing. But because we're within the city with small lots and not always the owners are present all year round, this can be a difficult task. So we have an update to the ordinance to allow, to add the words "permission of the property owner must be received" in both the, for the use of hunting with bow and arrow and bird shot. I will entertain a request for approval of ordinance 1701 at this time, and we'll have discussion.
Also moved.
Second.
Discussion. Councilman White.
Thank you to both Joe and Kevin for providing the map here. Just for clarification, for permission, we're fine with a verbal from the landowner to the hunter.
Yeah, I'm fine with that. We'll, if there's an issue, we'll contact the property owner.
Perfect. Thank you.
Councilman Mitchell.
I have a couple questions. Starting last year, 60 years old and older can hunt with a crossbow. Crossbow is covered under archery license. However, a crossbow does not shoot arrows, it shoots bolts, and it's fired from the shoulder at about 200 foot per second quicker than a regular bow, which gives it considerably more range. And it's just my thought that possibly you want to word it bow, arrow, and crossbow. If it ever got into a legal situation, it might be something that should be addressed.
Well, I believe the DNR, you know, they differentiate it as far as the hunting, but it is a type of bow. And my concern is every time somebody invents something new, we'll have to change the ordinance. I know, for instance, a regular bow, you can get devices to put on them that lock them back like a crossbow. So
They are illegal though.
I understand that, but for hunting, but you can still shoot them. And this isn't necessarily just for hunting either. It's you know, target practice as well. And my concern is I don't want to have to anticipate the next invention and make changes, I guess. I think a crossbow is a bow, and I'd like to keep it more generic so that it covers them all.
Okay. Well, I certainly don't want to make your job more complicated. I just, it's just a matter of the way.
I appreciate the thought.
The way it
Yeah,
goes in court nowadays, any little thing seems to be a problem, and it's just
And
two
there'd
words.
be, you know, some people still call it an arrow.
They do. Yep. Okay.
Councilman Ball.
No, no comment.
Councilman Buckman.
None.
I did have a similar comment that I got via email regarding bow and arrow, and as well as crossbow. And I think, as far as our ordinance is concerned, we would be considering a crossbow as a bow and arrow. You know,
That would be my interpretation.
Right.
And I believe the ordinance originally had that permission in it, and somewhere along the line,
just got dropped.
it got separated from each other as far as the bird shot and the rifle. So that was the original intent as well.
Okay. All those in favor of approving ordinance 1701?
Aye.
Those opposed? Is that an aye as opposed?
Sorry.
I didn't
Me too.
Ordinance 1701 is approved. Joe, do we need to get a summary on this one, or?
No, I'm going to print the shorter version. I just gave you the longer version
Okay.
so you could see what it looked
Okay.
like. Yeah.
Next item of business is the pay equity report. This is here for your information. Joe, why don't you elaborate on this one?
Okay, each year the state of Minnesota requires us to do a pay equity report, or not each year, every 3 years. And it's looking at a one-year test. And so there's a computer program, you just plug in people's pay rates and their points for the job classification, and it results in a compliance report, which is this sheet here, which includes the classification rates, number of male jobs, female jobs. There's a statistical analysis with an underpayment ratio and T-test, salary range test, and exceptional service pay test. We have more male classes than female classes in jobs. The underpayment ratio is listed as 0, which means it's not a problem. But you can see, the different classifications based on the number of male people and the number of female employees we have. The T-test isn't really involved because of the underpayment ratio at 0. The salary range, everybody is entitled to the same salary after 10 years of service, so there's a progression that both male and females use. And then there's the exceptional service pay test. We have the longevity pay, and that fits into that category. This one may cause us problems down the road, but we're balanced now with the number of female and male employees. You can see it says less 20% or less, the result will be 0. And so we're in compliance with that today. As our employees get older and people move on, that might be a problem, and it's something to keep in mind. But for the most part, I think we're doing really well. If you look at the graph, the graph really is telling it. You can see with the graph that you've got male employees and female employees, and they're all basically on the line. And so from that perspective, you can see that we're paying as we should be with this pay equity requirement. So with that, I would appreciate a motion to approve the pay equity report, and I'll submit it to the state, and hopefully we don't have any problems.
I'll entertain a motion to approve the report. The pay equity report.
So moved.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Further discussion? Councilman Brony?
No.
Councilman Buchan? Councilman Mitchell?
See, I knew we had a couple Garys.
Too many Garys.
We're not together. No.
Councilman Ball?
Just a couple questions on the actual report that's used.
Yep.
There's not a pass-fail then? It's just, you're pretty sure we're passing, but you're not positive until you send it in, or?
Well, from what I can read, we're passing. I mean, I don't see any problems with it. They sometimes look at things a little differently. They may take objection to your job description or your points. It's still our responsibility and our obligation to do that. But they did ask when I talked to them early about it, what changes in job descriptions have you made? And we've gone from a sewer manager to a public works department, including the sewer. So there's some job title changes and those sorts of things that could play into it. But I don't think we have a problem. I think we're in compliance.
Thanks.
Councilman Buchan?
Couple of just, some observations or questions, I guess, really. The exceptional service pay and the caveat, this could be a problem in future years, and you alluded to the years of service. This is really a problem of the administrator, number one, in direction to the council, and I think secondly, the personnel committee. Am I right there?
Well, yes and no. The ordinance and the compensation structure that you folks have proposed provided for longevity pay. You can either have performance pay or longevity pay as defined by exceptional service pay. Okay, we give longevity pay for 10 years of service and 20 years of service. We have policemen that are earning longevity pay because they've been here 10 years.
Right.
We've got other employees that are here, but when those employees retire and they're gone, we no longer have a balanced class between male and female employees because our female employees with longevity have gone. And so you get into this problem with the way the law is structured in that particular count. And it's a problem for the future. It's not a problem for today.
How far in the future?
Maybe 3 years.
That's close.
Yep.
So that's something that I would assume that the Personnel Committee would be looking strongly at.
Well, I think it's something we need to take a look at. You know,
All I need to know.
I don't seem to get any traction from the state on that particular issue.
No, I understand. Thank you very much.
And this is specifically a problem with small.
Small
employees.
jurisdictions, yep.
Yeah, small groups.
Yep,
Which we certainly
sure.
fall into that category.
Yep.
Thank you for the explanation, I appreciate it.
Okay, all those in favor of approving the pay equity report?
Aye.
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 Equity report is approved. Next order of business is the sale of the 2001 F-350 chassis. If I remember right, this was the truck that was being used for Public Works, and you replaced took the box off of this one and put it on a new one, and so now we have a chassis. Okay. And we sent this out for bids, and we received 6 bids, from a low of $3,600 to a high of $5,020. So I'll entertain a motion to sell the F-350 chassis to Mark Budke from Fergus Falls for $5,020. And should Mark Budke be unwilling to purchase this, the sale would then be offered to the next highest bidder, Brent Johnson, for $4,180. Entertain a motion for such.
Also move.
Second.
Further discussion? Councilman Maroney?
None.
Councilman Mitchell? Councilman Ball?
No.
Councilman
None.
Buchan? All those in favor of selling the F-350 chassis to Mark Budke for $5,020?
Aye.
Aye.
Approved. Next item of business is new squad purchase. Each year we budget for a new squad and equipment. Needs to be replaced. This year we have budgeted $43,720 to purchase a new squad and upfit it with the needed equipment. In addition, we would be needing, and we were not going to get rid of the old vehicle. We are going to be using that for the standby police officer, and we're going to be needing a new camera and radio for $8,870. And Chief, I'm a little confused on the numbers here. We got $43,720 for the car, and then you have $8,600 and $5,600 for the thermal manager. Is that all part of this request?
No, the body cameras and thermal imagers, different items, they're not.
That's not part of
squad
this.
cut.
Okay, so it's the $43,720 is what we're looking for.
Correct.
So I'll entertain a motion to approve the purchase of the new squad car for $43,720.
So moved.
Second.
Councilman Bakken, any further?
No, good saying it's a great idea.
Okay, Councilman Ball,
No.
Councilman Mitchell,
No.
Councilman Maroney.
I'm glad we went through with it. I know I had mentioned it to you about the possibility of doing it. I'm glad it worked out in the budget. So I'm glad to see that we were doing this.
All those in favor of approving the purchase of the new SUV?
Aye.
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 Those opposed? And that completes the agenda for tonight's meeting. The meeting is adjourned.